Hi everybody, my name is Luis Vargas and now I'm going to create an MVC application. Before we were creating only views for our application, and we also create a store, but we never create a real controller. And why do we need a controller? What I'm going to do right now is just open this main application, and I'm going to add to the previous application that we made, to this grid, to this I'm going to add a form to this content pane. This is too big. So what I'm going to I just need to add a new form in here, new form, and then pass the values to that form. Oops, this is nothing here. What kind of form am I going to use? Okay, I'm going to create two views. Let me see, I have validation form. Oh. Okay, so I just need to pass the form to here, and I just need to call it in here digit form. It's over in here, so it's going to be form, and that's it by the moment. Now I just need to add new text box. I'm going to add 3 text box, and those 3 text box are going to contain are going to be the ones that edit the values to the store. So I am also going to extend the form because I don't want to, and I'm going to create an extended folder, and then inside this extended folder I'm going to create also another folder, and it's going to be digit/form because I'm going to extend form. And inside this form I'm going to create a new JavaScript file, which is going to be our form. Since it is an standard one, I'm just going to call it equally as the other one, and I'm going to extend the digit form, and I also need the Dojo declare Dojo base declare, and declare in here and declare in here. Post create, no post create, sorry, I don't need that. What I'm going to do is just extend this form with a container, and a container came from digit container. Why I'm going to extend it with a container? Because I just want to add children in a fastest way, like we did with our containers. So container, and that's it. And now I'm just going to go to my main application, and to this form I'm just going to tell add children, easy. Then just pass an array of children. The first children is going to be a new text box. Oops, we don't have text box, so we need text box in here. Sorry, to it in here digit from text box, and also to here. I also need the button that I'm going to use later. And button in here also. Then I can, okay, new text box. And to this text box I'm going to say that instead we before use title, but title is not good. I would prefer use label, and label is going to be ID because this is store. It's going to match with this store, this ID, and name column it's going to be ID, this ID. Okay, so this label is going to be the label that's going to be at the left of the text box, and this ID represents the value that's going to be get from the form. So whenever you do set form, the form is going to pass this value to the text box, and it's going to get the name, and from the name it's going to get the value. So then I'm going to create two more text box because I have 3 elements, and this one is going to be title, and this one is going to be artist. Then I'm just going to create a button, and I'm going to say new button, and this button is going to have a label save, and also it's going to have the onClick event function event. The event in general is not needed, and here I'm going to say var value equal the value that I'm going to get from the form. So it's going to be my form equal dot get value, and to here I'm going to say value dot id. Okay, this one is not needed right now. And finally I'm just going to say my store dot put, and I'm going to save the value, and that's it. So this my form should be this form, so I'm going to create a new variable, and I'm going to create that variable globally, and this is because I just need this here. So I'm just going to run this to see how this works. I just want to remember you that this container extend the container, and we, the previous video, override the container, so we can add these children directly. This is not something that has Dojo by default. Maybe in the future they're going to add it, but I think that right now they don't have that. But it should be great because it's a shorter way to create widgets, and I like it more. Just wait for that. I'm going to open the debugger also because I can see whatever error has occurred. Okay, so here is where application where Okay, we don't have the form values. Why? That's weird. Let me check the code. Oh, by the way, I think that since we are extended, we need to add this to here. That's true. Since we are extended, we are not overriding. I need to add this extended to here, and that's maybe solve the problem. Let's check if it loads correctly. That's true. Extended. Maybe because I didn't build it. I didn't find it. That's weird. Extended. It's correctly spelled, right? Extended. Sometimes I need to build and clean to refresh what is in the server, because sometimes I think that in that case is because we added a new folder, and that's why we need to do that. But in general, we don't need to do that every time, and I think that that's why. Okay, server can stop. No. I don't know what happened. still. Oh yes, of course. And that's the problem. The problem is that we didn't set the path. That's right. Okay. Okay. So in the index.html, I'm going to set the path to the new application, and I'm just going to copy this into this package, and I'm going to tell it extended, and this one is going to be extended also. And I'm going to change this, but later. And it's gray. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. This done ready error on done ready callback. That means that we forget to say that this one should be on done ready, because we are adding children. Which one? This one should be on done. No, this one's okay. So in that case, it's this one. I think that I should add done ready in here. No, I don't think so. That's weird. Okay, so to solve the problem, I just forget to add the return into the require, into the define. I forget to add this return, and that's why it didn't work before. But just adding this, it works. And this moment, let me check. We have this. Okay. Okay, this is because we forget the table container, and I think that we should add a table container also. Let me see. Content pane, yes, we forget in here a table container. So I'm going to add a table container. Sorry, not here. Here. Oops. And add all those values into the table container, or except this button, because this button is not going to be in there, because label, that's why. And here I just need table container, oh yes, children. This everything is going to be there. inside these children. Okay, looks okay. Okay. Table container is not defined. Okay. We add it to the container. No, we don't have table container. And table container is inside Dojo's layout. If I don't digit Dojo's layout. Let me see. I'm going to add it in here. No, in here. And then it's under pattern. Okay. Let's try again. And that's why most people prefer to use the minified versions, because they load faster than the unminified version. But the problem with the minified version is that it's too difficult to debug, and that's why I prefer to use the unminified version, because it's easier to debug. And here we go. So what's our next step? Our next step is just unclick this. We need to pass the value to this form, and then unclick save. That's what we did last time, just a moment ago. We need to transfer the value to the store, and then the grid is going to list in the store, and just get the value from the store. So I'm going to say onRowClick, sorry. Let me see exactly how is the name. onRowClick, that's the name. So name of my form in here. So I'm going to say onRowClick colon function event, then add the event dot okay, my form dot set value, comma, my store dot get event dot rowId. So what I'm going to do right now is just, let's come in here, is just get from the event has the row ID, and from this row ID I'm going to get the store. And if you open the store, you're going to see that store has this value of this ID. So it's going to get the value from this ID. if this ID, most of the time you should put this ID property, but sometimes you don't need it. For example, in that case you don't need it because it's the same name, so it's not needed. Sorry, not the same name, is ID, the name is ID, but most of the time the ID could be my store ID, and that happens most all the time. So that's why I just prefer to leave it in that way. And also I'm going to, I think that's it now. Okay, here we go. Still loading. Okay, here we go. So just clicking, I just pass the value to the form, and the form is in charge to pass every value to its child. So and then I could just change this and save, and as you can see, the value on the grid is also it's refreshed every time that I modify the store without modifying directly the grid. And that's why we have until this moment we just have an application, views, and a store. So what about if we want to use this, we want to separate this small view, just this grid and this form, into two different views? Okay, you can say just copy this, and then just copy the grid. I'm going to close the browser. You can say, okay, I'm just going to copy the grid and just add into a new view. So I'm going to add my view, and inside this my view I'm going to add a new JavaScript file, sorry, and this JavaScript file is going to be named grid. So it's going to be my view grid, sorry. Control def and dojo slash base slash declare, and here I'm going to say return declare, and which one is going to be the parent? The parent is going to be the grid, and this one doesn't contain children, and in fact doesn't contain anything of this. That's good one. And also need to pass the grid. What's the URL? Going to copy the grid in here. Oops, sorry. Main I'm going to copy everything from here to here, and I'm going to pass it in here. And I also going to need the store and the grid, so basically I'm just going to need everything from here to here, the grid and the store. So I'm going to delete it from here, and I'm just going to pass it to here. And also I'm just going to add another module that has this grid, which is called the select row, and I'm going to add the one that's called select extended select, because this one shows which rows is being selected, so that's why I'm going to add it. Is this one extended select, and in here I'm just going to say grid, select row, and store. I'm just going to copy because it's faster, and that's it. And I'm also going to say that the store let me see. So I'm going to say that select row trigger every time that I click the row, it's going to be selected or marked as selected, and the row I'm just passing this module to the grid to the grid to use this del carry declare. Okay, and that's it for the grid. And now we're going to with the form abuse validation form. I'm just going to copy from here to here, not to here. Let's do another view, new JavaScript file, and this one is going to be called form. Oops. Sorry. Going to copy from form text box, form extended. No. Yeah, the form, right? From here to here. So it's going to be this one. Oops. Come on. This one not here. And I'm also going to copy the other dependencies because it's too much to make it manually. And let's do the return. And the panel is going to be the form. Okay. And then the children, it's going to be the values that we have in the main. Or those are our children's. It's going to code and pass to the form. And I'm going to also delete those two because I don't need any more those two. And simply I'm just going to say app views and my view grid, comma, and app views my view form. Okay, now I can use these two validation form and create here create a form. Instead of create a form, because it is the generic name, I'm going to call it my view create and my view form. Then inside this content pane, which one is the content pane? The container middle. So in the first content pane here, I'm just going to add those two new and say create, sorry, not my view create and I'm going to say new my view form. Oops, sorry, it's not colon, it's not semicolon, it's comma. And then this is the base for everything. I just want that you notice two things. The first thing that you want to notice is that this is my form. I cannot pass my form in here. You can say, okay, but you can create this and pass this into the constructor, and then from the constructor get this my form and put something like a new variable in here called my form. But in that case, I'm telling that the view depends on the form or on any other form, and in that case it's not too good. I could do it, it's not bad at all, but it's not completely good also. I could say it, and for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to do it in that way. I could say that this is my form, and that into the main view I could pass this to my form, my form, and then this one should be, but the problem is that this one should be created first, and it's a little bit complicated, and I don't like this idea too much because this is not the objective. So what I'm going to do is just comment those lines and comment these other two lines, because this is this form. I don't have this form. Okay, although this is the same form in here. Let's see, it should be like something like this, no? No, it's not this, because this is the button. So it should be the form, which is that one. And also I could pass to the form to this button, but I don't like that idea too much because it's all kind of ugly and it's too difficult to maintain, and I prefer don't do that. So I'm also going to comment this by the moment and to see if everything gets correct, if the view is well parsed. And also I just want that you notice this constructor and this constructor, and why I did add inside the constructor instead adding directly to the children like I did in the main view. I added directly to the children without the constructor. This is because this one, right? Yeah. This is because those parameters, those children, are arrays, and if I add it directly, those arrays are going to be unique and are going to be almost like static values. And in here in this grid, I don't need the constructor, because those values are all of them are unique and doesn't need to be created again. But in that case, those new children, new needs to be created again. And I'm going to save that. Okay. And we have a problem with our form. That's the problem. children table container. Oh yes, that's true. I forget that I put in the incorrect order those two. Facing this place. Font, text box button, and table container. Okay. Okay, here we go. And here we have this. Now, when I select this, I don't have anything. But you can note also that the color of this grid changed, although a little bit because this color is ugly. I prefer the normal color. I'm going to put the normal color. Let me see if I can put the instead of claro, I'm going to use the normal one, the default one. Let's see. Yep. And this one has a better coloring. Okay, so my objective is when I select this element, this font should be filled. And to do that, I'm going to create one controller. Okay, so I'm going to create one controller in here, one folder, controller, and I'm going to call it new JavaScript file, my view, and by what is the name? By convention, the controllers always have the name of the folder of the views, and the views, the small part, that this is just a convention. This controller is going to have the name of the view and then controller, and that's it. Oh, that's most of the time. If you want to have more controllers, you can add it in here also, and if you want to have more views, you can add it more folders and more small parts for the views. And now I'm just going to say require, and the first require is, let me see, controller. And why I'm going to do a require, because this controller, I'm not going to return any value, any class from the controller. It's controller just actions. That's why it doesn't have it doesn't return values. It doesn't return even at the same controller. So that I'm just going to say Dojo query. Oops, sorry. Dojo query. This library is in charge of querying the DOM, and also Dojo ready. This library is in charge of waiting for the not DOM ready, like we did before, waiting for all widgets after all widgets are constructed. And Dojo on, this library is in charge of creating or attaching events, and app stores my store, since I'm going to need this store. And here the dependencies is going to be query, ready, and on, and my store. Okay, now I'm just going to say on ready, just ready function. This is similar to the jQuery ready, but not jQuery ready. In fact, this is because jQuery ready waits for the DOM, and this ready waits for the widgets, which is after the DOM has been created, has been parsed. And here I'm going to say var button 1, yes, button 1, just button by the moment, equal query my form, my view form, and digit button. So what is basically, I'm just getting a DOM element. This query gets DOM elements from the DOM, obviously, and which one is going to be this ID, my view form. It's going to be this one, my view form. Oops, I forget to pass ID, my view form. Oops, sorry, this one is for this. Okay, I didn't need it, but this one is going to be called my view grid, and I'm also going to get the two digits or widgets, in that case my view form. Instead of doing query, I'm going to get the digit using digit dot by ID, which gets the digit. That means that I'm going to get the form digit, the form widget, instead getting the form node. So my form, my view form, and also I need the grid, my view grid, equal and digit dot by ID, my view grid, and that's it for getting the values. Now I'm going to say on button, comma, click. If you are accustomed to jQuery, you can think, oh, this is similar to jQuery, but in jQuery you put this button in here and then button on, which is good, but I don't like too much. I mean, I like it, but in that case, just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use this on. Most of the time I don't use it, because most of the time I use the digit on, which is shorter or better. Instead this on function. This is just for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, even it's not important. And I'm going to say what I has in this form. In here, on click, I'm going to say get value and pass the value to the store. Oops, what did going to delete this one. I don't know why this one gets too. Okay. And here I need also to pass this grid. So in this grid I'm going to say my view grid dot on. This is more similar to jQuery. On rowClick, comma, function, event, and here I'm just going to say my view form dot set value, and the value is going to be my store dot get fm.rowId. Let me see, everything is okay. Yeah, it should be okay. So let's see if it works. Not yet. Let's refresh. No errors. Let's test it. No, it works. Let's see the sources, if we have the correct sources. We don't have controllers in here. Let's run it again. I think that I need to build again. Why we don't have controllers? Oh, I know why we don't have controllers. And in main.js we forget to require this controller. So in here I'm going to say app controllers my view controller. This controller is just required, not need to no instantiate it. Okay. Store this. That's cool. That's a great error, in fact, because we have a stores. Oops. I put stores. think that here we go. No? Okay, so the problem was that in this P controller I'm doing this on, and my grid has this commented, this on row commented. So if I uncomment this line, it will work. But also I don't like to have this all the time and just having empty. I don't like it, although it works. So there is another way to make it work also. Let's see if it works. And now it works. And there was yeah, on cursor on the file is not a function. Okay, let's see where's the error. The error is because this it should be my form. Something interesting about NetBeans is that I can save from what's the name, from Chrome directly, and it reload the pages again. But I don't like to do that too much because sometimes Chrome gets everything messed up, so I don't like too much. But sometimes I do that. And now let's see if it works. Something that always Chrome add is this, because it says that it has been modified, and I'm not sure if how many times it's going to add that, but I don't like too much. So is it working or not working? Not yet. Yeah, you see it add one more line. And let's try it again, and there's save. Now it saves, and we have a little error, this add row. This is because the ID, this ID in this case, is in a string, but it expects an integer. So to solve that, we just need to parse this value. So I'm going to do value ID. No, it doesn't have ID here, equal, parse in, and value dot ID. See, you see it add one more line. That's not good. I don't like those two lines. And also make Scrum a little bit slower. Now something interesting is that we can create more than one view and more than one grid and more than one form, because both of them are detached. And for example, we can create one more one more view in here. I'm going to delete it in here, and I'm going to do it command here, delete this comment. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you the correct way of not doing of not using this. The correct way is, instead of doing onRowClick, you should do this onRowClick and do an equal directly, and that solves the problem. And this main, so I can have one more grid, and since this grid can have another ID, let's do it in, yeah, and we can have another form. And also this form can have another ID, and we also can have another controller pointing to the same view with a different number, and we have a complete relation, a complete decoupled application. And that's good because we can create as many views as we want, and we also can extend the views. We can override some parts of the views if we want. The same for the controllers. We can extend controllers, we can override parts of the controllers. It's too dynamic. I like that part of Dojo. By the way, there is another, if you look in Internet Dojo MVC, you're going to find this Dojo's MVC, and also this data modeling for MVC applications, which are not the same as our MVC application. This Dojo's MVC refers to mostly to stateful models, which is basically it looks more like a MVVM than MVC, but that's how you see it. It's talk too much about this Dojo stateful, this Dojo's MVC sync, Dojo MVC add, sync data converter. This works most like more like a MVVN application than a MVC application. You have MVC repeat, MVC generate, MVC output group, widget list, and you can, for example, this is like the for each in Knockout or Angular. I don't like too much the way that Dojo does that because it's too much code. I don't like, for example, this data Dojo type is too long. This Dojo props is too long. But furthermore, this HTML code is not going to be minified. Although we can do that using JavaScript. In JavaScript, we don't even need this for loop, this way of for loop, because in JavaScript, sorry, this is not the for loop. This add is the required add, so the XMVC, this repeat. We don't need this repeat ID because in JavaScript we have the for loops, so we don't need that. That's something that I don't like too much about the way that Dojo processes that. To me, it's maybe not poor, it's ugly, in fact. And now I can say, if I touch this, the form it's not going to be modified, because if this form is going to be modified only by this one, and this form never modified this other one, at least that we connected using another controller or another yes, creating another controller or creating more connection in the same controller. which is not good because one controller should handle one view or one group of views, and that's why I will create another controller instead creating the same using the same controller. So I hope that you like that video. If you have questions, don't forget to make a comment at the bottom of the YouTube video. And goodbye.